There's an OnlyFans bandit?
The Texas butthole tickling bandit has finally been caught.
What? Is this a real story?
He can't hide the old dog.
The hangover game changer is olive oil.
You got to have a brass set of nuts to say what he said.
I'm 36, by the way. I never thought I would be here in my life talking about who's got more riz.
I don't know how fast STDs take root.
Either she's Meryl Streep or she's flipping. Welcome back to the Paulie and Dev show. We're back. We're back in action. We got 2 under our belt. We're going for 10. We're setting an attainable goal. We're going to try to hit 10 episodes. We're going to reassess after 10 episodes. If you're still here, it means we must be doing something right. If you're new, welcome. I'm Devin Walker. I'm joined, of course, by my co-host, the one and only Paulie Calafiore. Am I saying that right?
It's Calafiore, but
Calafiore E, emphasis on the E.
Emphasis on the E.
Yep,
Emphasis
exactly.
on the E.
Well, you're back.
Here.
You're back in action. Had a big week per usual. We got a ton of things to cover. Paulie, how you feeling?
I feel great, Dev. I feel great. I'm really feeling the flow of this pod. I kind of like that we are 2 different dynamics here, and I kind of feel like we bring good perspectives. I think we have a lot of fun things to talk about, a lot of good perspectives on games, and also a lot of random things, but it all flows great. And guys, if you love us, like, subscribe, all right? We have a YouTube, we have an Instagram, we got a Spotify, we've got a TikTok. Make sure you're liking, make sure you're sharing, and also partake in the Roast the Host segment, okay?
Yes, please.
We are about to release episode 2. This is episode 3 in the books. We want to get some good roast in here. Tina reached out, wants to do a live roast one of these episodes.
Wow. I don't know if we're ready for that. That's like the final villain in a video game.
We might have to save that for episode 10.
Yeah, the decade episode featuring Tina. Very interesting. That's it's the first I'm hearing about that. That's electric. I'd also like to just give Paulie his flowers here. I want you all to guess how many of those things that were just listed were done by me. And if you guessed 0, then that would be correct. Bit of a steak and sizzle thing we got going on here. Turns out I'm the sizzle. Paulie's more of a steak guy. So he has absolutely crushed all of this. Literally everything that you're seeing on socials is because of Paulie, and being able to listen to this at all is because of Paulie. My part is pretty much just to show up on Fridays and let it rip. So we're doing our jobs, but thank you, Paulie. And a big collective thank you from our audience who just adore you, even though they do want to roast you. So congratulations on being yourself. You're absolutely on fire. Moving on, I think we had one of the best Survivor episodes. Well, I'm going to take that back. We had the best Survivor episode I've ever seen personally. Now, there's not a ton of data there. It wasn't beating out many other episodes, considering I've only seen 4 lifetime, but no performance, no musical number, which was a little bit disappointing. But, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was giving old school Survivor.
It was giving old school Survivor with only one thing where there was an opportunity to be old school Survivor and it wasn't.
Okay.
And we didn't get a musical number, but we did get some impersonations at the end. So we'll dive into that later. I would say the only thing that, in my opinion, wasn't old school Survivor is we've got one guy, Riz God, Rizzo, the Rizmeister, the
He's
Rizinator, Electric, Confessional King.
Yep.
Love him. Love the energy. He has shown to multiple people he's got 2 idols.
Yeah.
Now, old school Survivor is we're going to make this guy think he's getting voted out tonight to force him to use at least one of the idols, right? And that just didn't happen, and Siri, she had her confessional of like, oh, old school. I don't want to show some things. I will say she's kind of winning me over this episode. Not gonna lie.
Let's go.
Siri's starting to win me over on this episode. However, I wanted her to be like, I'm old school. So naturally, I'm going to tell everybody to make Rizzo feel like he's getting voted out tonight.
I think they're not. I don't even know if that's on anyone's radar because now listen, I'm a Riz God guy. All right. I met him in New York. Big fan. I think that there's two types of nicknames in this world that work really, really well. Ones that are incredibly appropriate and ones that definitely aren't. And he does fall into the definitely isn't appropriate, I would say, in terms of the definition of Riz, right? But he's got to have some sort of schwa de vivre because he's got a lot of people eating out of the palm of his hand. And I'm a massive fan. So I was gonna ask you, are you Team Charlie or Team Riz? But I'm not sure Charlie has, I think Charlie's playing a team game by himself right now in terms of fans. Is anyone going Team Charlie here?
Yeah, I'm not Team Charlie on this one. You know,
No,
I thought he
no.
tried to bring good points, didn't. I think Riz just outwitted, outsmarted, and outlasted, right?
Hmm.
The three cores of Survivor. And he did it in such a old school fashion. The smack talk in the confessionals was
Yeah.
absolutely goated down to the last second. Like you got to have a brass set of nuts to say what he said, writing pen on paper. How did Jonathan word it? Pen on what?
I'm not sure. That one flew over my head, but I do know that he quoted Taylor Swift,
He did. He did.
which again, kind of now I'm taking it back. I guess maybe I don't know. I guess when I think of Riz, I think of like Tony, you know? I'm
Yeah.
thinking of like six
Like
four, kind of jacked, handsome guy.
Tony's a
Like,
Riz God.
yeah. But then Riz God just isn't Tony.
Yeah.
But like he's doing a lot of Rizzy things. I'm 36, by the way. I never thought I would be here in my life talking about who's got more Riz.
It's
So,
unbelievable. Good play on words with the name
yeah,
Riz God.
correct. Right. And it's a bold nickname, but I think the idol situation is this, and correct me if I'm wrong. Is anybody fearful of the Riz God winning this game?
You know, I don't think if I was a Survivor player, I don't think I would look at Riz God and be like, this guy's beating me.
He's got to go.
Yeah, he's got to go at some point,
Well,
and
no, I'm saying I wouldn't look at him and be like, he's got to go.
correct.
You know? So
That's
like
what
I
you're
don't
saying.
really care, I guess, if he has two idols. Maybe that's what they're thinking. They're like, does this it's like him having two idols means other people that I want to leave more don't have them. So like if he burns one, whatever.
Yeah, it's true. And I think the way he played on season 49 with the idols was he kind of dangled them in front of everybody's head, right?
Hmm.
And nobody on 49 was like, let's just blindside this guy. You know what I mean? And
So
he,
this is a recurring situation.
yeah, this is a recurring thing. He's trying to use the same strategy that he used on 49, on 50, in terms of dangling the idols out there. And I think he's going to get himself into some hot water probably post merger. I think he makes it a few. And then I think once it starts getting down to the brass tacks of it all, people are going to start looking at it being like, we only have X amount of tribal councils left. This guy has two idols. Now, one of them, Boomerang Idol, correct me if I'm wrong, if he doesn't use that idol and it gets voted out, that boomerangs to somebody else.
That's my understanding, but my idol knowledge is super low. So it's pretty much a guess at this point.
Yeah.
Um, I love watching the show this way. It's like everything is a huge reveal for me because I have nothing to base it off of. But there was, I mean, I like double tribal council fire. Love that. Wasn't a ton of sparks on the other side there with Angelina just getting completely railroaded. Literally stood no chance. That was like the cleanest break I think we'll see all season. And then, obviously the Charlie Rizzo war was definitely like overshined it. So
Yeah.
Angelina didn't leave a huge impression on me.
Yeah.
I can definitely understand why it went that way. It was just kind of like, okay, if she stays or if she goes, I'm kind of neutral on it either way, which in Survivor might be the worst possible way to play at this stage. I think you
Right.
either want to be hated or loved because if you're hated, you're probably going to be hated by some mutual enemies. So it's going to
Mhm.
like build you an alliance almost that you don't even want necessarily, but just like an enemy of my enemy is my friend type of thing. If you're just totally neutral, it's like the lowest hanging fruit.
Yeah, I think Angelina, people may be looking at her on this season and being like, Mike White got you on this season by saying something like, I'm only doing this season if Angelina gets to come. Also,
So naturally, once he goes,
she goes.
yeah, yeah.
And
Little bit
flipping
of what was the House of Villains? It was Tara and her right hand man there,
Traitors.
or Traitors. Yeah,
Yeah.
Traitors. It
Yeah.
was Lipinski
Yeah.
and the
The
other ice
guy.
skater. Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah. A little
guy.
bit of that vibe.
Yeah, a little bit of that flipping in true flipping fashion threw
Goaded,
Ozzy right under the bus. As soon as Ozzy was like, I want Christian gone, she was like, Hey, Christian, guess what? Ozzy wants you gone. Which,
dude. Flippin is the messiest one there. She's the. It's like it, you can tell someone's got some juice if immediately like episode one, I'm like I'm a big Flippin fan. That's kind of like that's the recipe right there. Is if you can win me over in one episode, I think you're gonna have a pretty good season. And Flippin
yeah,
hasn't disappointed yet.
she is not disappointed. And in the social media, what's going on, the pulse that I'm seeing on
Hmm.
X and under the comments of Survivor of like, why are there no female narratives? Why are you not showing the female narratives? It's because Flippin has all of them.
Yeah, dude. What do you mean the female narratives? This she's the star of the show.
Yeah, Emily Flippin is the star of the show right now. And
I
I
truly
understand.
believe that.
I'm on the Flippin train
Yeah,
here.
flipping for flipping. I truly believe she is the star of the show. Dee had a fire line. I love when
Yeah,
someone calls somebody else stupid or dumb or whatever the word was that she used. That's always funny. To call somebody else dumb is gonna make me laugh every time. So
that is funny.
I did like that. I did like Dee's little tidbit there. But yeah, flipping. Let's go. Let's do this. Totally impromptu segment. Male, female MVPs of the season so far.
Hmm.
For me, it is unanimous. Flippin's the female MVP. Do you have a
Hmm.
counter?
I don't have a counter on the female MVP side of things. I think Flippin is the clear star here.
I think it's got to be Flippin or maybe Suri.
Nah, I'm not giving it to Suri yet. She hasn't
Hasn't
won
done
me over that
enough.
much. She hasn't won me
Okay.
over that much.
So Flippin wins unanimously. And then I do think for the guys, I'm seeing a two-horse race
Hmm.
between Rizzo and Ozzy.
Yep.
And I would lean after this episode, just from a entertainment standpoint, I would lean Rizgod.
Yeah, see, you're leaning Rizgod. I'm leaning Oz. I'm
Okay.
leaning Ozzy. I'm leaning Ozzy because it's the old school feel, right? He's doing the fishing. He's building the
Yep.
fires. As he's sitting there, pissed off about the blind side last week, people are kind of bringing up in a hilarious way that he was building a fire while going off, and he wasn't keeping track of how big of a fire he was making because he was just going off. And I'm like, as much as Ozzy is trying to kind of come in and be like, I meditate and I'm Zen and I want to be on White Lotus with Mike White, would really help my OnlyFans career. He hasn't mentioned yet, but he can't hide the old dog. He's still there.
Yeah, it's definitely there. It's like there's some people like this in the challenge that Josh is such a great example. You can't eventually Josh is going to explode.
Yeah,
There is no, everything could be going his way. He could be in anger management leading up to the season. He could be meditating with Tori and he could be running 7 miles a day. Eventually, Josh is going to explode. And it does feel like, yeah, there's a bit of like who you want to be and then who you are. And I can
right.
see that interior battle happening with Ozzy.
It's
Yeah,
happening in real time.
it's happening in real time. Yeah. And to be building like a big fire as as like a as an obvious metaphor and physical representation of what's going on internally is pretty good.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm going with Oz here. I kind of feel like him not getting rid of Christian. I think that's going to come to bite him once
Hmm.
merger happens. I think there was an opportunity, be as it may, that I don't think Angelina provided anything this season. I do
No. Oh
think
no, no, she's not in the running.
no, she's not in the running
Flippin's
at
got
all.
it sealed.
No, Flippin has it sealed. I'm
Yeah.
just saying in terms of how the boot order has happened.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If Christian went, I think Ozzy, Stephanie, Angelina are a solid core three going into merger, and then Flippin's gonna flippin.
Flippin's gonna flip flop.
Yeah,
She's Hillary Clinton.
yeah. She's
Yeah.
gonna flip flop all over the place.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
she's not even gonna know she's doing it, dude. That's the best part.
where
That's the
does
best.
she?
Yeah. Either she's Meryl Streep or she's Flippin. And we're not entirely sure at this moment which one it is. We don't know for sure.
The only thing we're gonna know is if she doesn't win and she doesn't make it deep, right?
Hmm.
Then we're like, okay, flippin's gonna flippin. Like that's she had no plan, no clue,
Yeah.
just did her thing. But if she somehow makes it deep, we gotta sit here and be like, was there a method to the madness?
They have to cast her on another show. I need to see Flippin kind of just try. I don't know which one would be the best yet because
Could
she's
you
not
imagine flipping
really.
on traders
I would like to see Flippin on Traitors.
as a trader?
Yeah, as a
Hey, so
trader.
I'm a trader.
No, no, no. No, Flippin. You can't tell him that. Right. And then again, it would be like, well, is she one? It's like,
It's
you never know.
a
That's
bold
the,
strategy to go on traders as a trader and say you're a trader.
it's like, okay, well, if we know, we just let's save her for later, I guess. Save the trader for later. I don't know. It rhymes. Let's chat about traders for a second. If you went on there, I'm going to give you three options, right? You can be a trader right off the bat. You can be a faithful, or you can be a fusion of the two, right? Where you're a
Hmm.
faithful for a little while and then you get called in and you become a trader. What's your ideal
Hmm.
path of victory in traders?
My ideal path to victory, I think, would be faithful to trader.
Okay.
I think if I was a trader, that would probably be up there just as close as like a good path to victory. Because the only thing I could really kind of fall back on is if people try and rope me into the gamer side of things, I could basically be like, I'm really not that good at any games, you know, for XYZ reasons. You know what I mean? I could basically sit there and be like, listen, guys, sooner or later, I'm gonna not do well. Okay.
Would you
And
would you be able to turn it off though on those silly little competitions? Would you be able to like pretend like you stink?
well, on those things, I don't think I would need to. I would think that's where I would have my best moments of bonding with the faithfuls. I feel
Mm,
like being the guy that could kind of be like, hey, listen, I've been here before, I've done this before. Terrible on the strategy side of things, so I'm gonna need y'all's big brains to find the traders. But let me at least help us make some money and, potentially keep some of us safe through competing, because that's all I got. One trick
yeah.
pony.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Little wolf in sheep's clothing avenue there, which is it's a common strategy. You want to know what I don't understand about that game? Just get into it super quickly here before we move on. Colton plays the game harder than anybody all season, right?
Or possibly ever.
Ever. And no one's like, well, when they're talking about getting rid of gamers, no one's like, well, we got to get rid of Colton. So is it just people? And then there's like I understand it's like people that have come from game shows versus other people, right?
Right.
But if you're at what point in the season does that kind of go away? Because we know a lot of people that have been on game shows who stink at game
Oh yeah.
shows.
100%. I think that the CT and Trishelle of it all on season two.
Trishelle comes to mind. Like
Yeah.
Trishelle, no one, I don't think any, that was kind of before the whole gamer thing had come alive, but I don't think anyone was being like, we got to get rid of Trishelle. She was on the challenge once or six times or whatever it
I think
is.
Trishelle might be one of the worst gamers ever. I think CT is just that elite
Mm,
that he was able to kind of find his ride or die and kind of ride that off into the sunset. I think on season three, with the absolute massacres that went on via the Traitors and them being gamers, Boston Rob in there, Wes made an appearance, Derek made an appearance. I think that the gamers who come from game shows get a bad rap, and it allows the gamers from other shows to kind of fly under the radar, just like what we're seeing in House of Villains with Kate and also Drita.
yeah. Kate, great segue. Kate is, I mean, everyone knows how we feel about Drita. We haven't talked much about Kate. Kate has taken House of Villains season three by storm. Kate
In a
said,
in
move over, Sandy. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. This is my shit now.
Yeah, she's taken over the last two episodes, and getting to hear her kind of talk in the confessionals about how she's piecing things together, it's like, oh, she's on fire.
Dude, she actually is getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
she's
getting
getting
it
it.
good.
She's executing. Well, I mean, let's hop right into House of Villains. Obviously, we lost Middlebrooks last season. Interested to hear your take on this. Closely following Middlebrooks' exit, Ashley Mitchell has a mysterious illness. Was it a broken heart?
I think it could have been a broken heart if she had one. I don't think I don't think Ashley has a heart.
Okay,
You know?
fair
So
enough.
so I think there's some question marks around what Middlebrooks has got going on down in his Middlebrook, if you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying.
Down in his babbling brook. That's never
Yeah.
been used before.
Yeah.
Yeah, mysterious. A mysterious illness has fallen over Ashley Mitchell. Just mere days after some hanky panky with one Johnny Middlebrooks. Now, we're not in the conspiracy theorist department here, but we will allow everyone to I guess come to their own conclusions there. But interesting timing, not great timing.
Not
Optically, doesn't look great.
not the best timing. And Dev, you've gotten sick on a show before, pretty bad?
I have gotten very sick a couple times, but not like, but it's been like food related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what the
So
point
it's
where I'm
quick, you know?
yeah, the point where I'm trying to go with this is when you get sick, you still got to kind of keep it together, right? We saw Ashley in a bonnet
Should have bonnet on,
with
yeah.
the glasses and then face mask. She was looking like a full ER patient here.
It was wild. I wonder when it filmed. Cause like, but I also know Ashley, she wouldn't bounce if it wasn't like a serious thing. But obviously, we've seen her since then. She's fine. So I truly wonder what she got.
Do you think it was COVID?
I don't know. I don't know. It had to be enough to be medically removed from a game that does not require much physicality.
Hmm.
So I
You
don't
know,
know.
I don't know how fast STDs take root. I don't know how that works. I don't know the symptoms of syphilis and gonorrhea or chlamydia, but apparently, if left untreated, they could get pretty dangerous. And she seemed to be on her deathbed. I mean, if you're going to make an exit from a show, I don't know. I kind of feel like I would still keep myself dressed a certain way.
House of Amoxicillin. Need to get that girl a Z pack.
Yeah,
Fucking put her back in the game.
Ashley Mitchell, glad you made a full recovery. Glad it
We're
wasn't from
happy
a
to hear
broken
it.
heart.
Yeah, well, we still don't know. We'd like confirmation actually. Was it was it a broken heart? You know? I've seen it get people down pretty bad. It's happened to me.
Yeah, no, I understand. Listen, I've locked myself away for months sometimes over a broken heart. You don't want to get out of bed, you don't want to move.
You
And
put a
then
bonnet on.
Yeah, you put a bonnet on in bed with cameras rolling.
Fair amount of breadcrumbs here. Just
Yeah,
saying.
a lot of breadcrumbs, a lot of breadcrumbs rolling. I just,
Just saying. Yeah,
yeah,
well, anyways, RIP, not actually, thank God. She is alive. We have confirmation that Ashley is alive. So RIP and House of Villains to Ashley Mitchell. Good season for her. I thought it was good. She's a little mean to us, to two of us sometimes, but I
yeah.
do enjoy her on TV.
Definitely not her faves.
Doesn't love me. Not entirely, not entirely sure how she feels about you,
I
but I
listen.
imagine it's
I thought she loved me, and then all of a sudden she didn't. In true Ashley
uh
fashion, which is why we love her, ladies and gentlemen.
you never know what
Let's
you're
go
gonna
back.
get.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not mad at them at anyone casting Ashley at any point in time. And I think it's one of those situations too where you can't really try to understand or be offended at anything. You kind of just got to let it roll.
yeah.
And there you almost have to focus on the good parts because the bad parts are coming and they're like pretty mean. So it's
Pretty mean
probably
is putting it mildly.
probably best to just ignore those. And then if you catch her in a pocket, right? Catch her in the right pocket, she can actually be a pretty good time. I enjoyed her on the show.
We didn't get an Ashley meltdown though.
We did not get a Mitchell meltdown.
We didn't.
We did not. And that's maybe for the best. I don't think actually, I'm trying to think now, because on Challenge 41, she had a couple like spazzy freak out moments in challenge, but I can't remember any like major freakouts.
But you witnessed the meltdown on All Stars.
Yes, but it wasn't. So I must have missed part of it.
Yeah,
So I
her and
did.
Anissa.
Yeah, that was. I really wasn't like I saw the fallout. I saw the aftermath. The best Ashley Mitchell meltdown was when she was on the phone with like her boyfriend or something back in Costa Rica, and it was the call. Our little call center or whatever was like right outside the gym. And my dumbass was working out on All Stars. I'll never do that again. Absolutely 0.0% chance that's necessary. And so I was outside the gym and she was ripping into this guy. Like I have never heard anyone, and he's like watching her house and like do I don't know. They had like some business he was like running for her or something. It was wild. It was the craziest one I've ever heard. People were walking in and they're like, "What's going on?" And she just was like ripping into this poor guy that like didn't really speak English. And it was just
So
like
he was
and then by the end of the call, she was like, "I love you so much. Hey, gotta go. Bye."
so
I was like,
so
"What the fuck?"
he was just sitting there kind of like, okay, Miss Mitchell. Okay, Miss Mitchell.
I
I
don't know
handle your
you.
business, Miss Mitchell.
He wasn't saying a ton. It was like 95.5. It was like if you catch CT on a call on the wrong day, you know how you're getting it's like 92.8, in terms of word count.
Oh yeah, CT notorious for giving you the phone call and then you're on a ride for 3 hours where 95% of it is him talking and you just there.
I view it as an unrecorded podcast. I really enjoy my calls with Chris.
I love him. I
I
love him.
throw the AirPods in and I just kind of go from there.
You just get all your tasks done for the day.
I have a brother that's very similar to that. We actually get him on the pod. He's like a movie savant. He watched 100 movies in
100 movies.
He watched 100 movies released in 2025 and then ranked them all and has a massive list compiled of movies. So when I get him on the phone, sometimes I'll just press mute. I'll leave the phone in the other room. I'll go do a few things, come back. He is still going mid monologue, mid rant,
Oh yeah.
electric conversationalist. Me and Michelle call him for fun. Just check in with Brendan sometimes, see how he's doing. Great way to fill a few hours. I'll probably call him today, actually. But enough about my
Sometimes
family.
those are the best kind of conversations to have because they're not checking in on your response to anything.
No, nope, no. Can just kind of let him rip. There's no dead air. It's
Yeah.
it's it's outstanding.
And there's no like, hey, Dev, did you hear that? What do you think? And then
Yeah,
you feel
no,
bad because you have no idea what just happened.
no. There's no feeling bad there. it's electric. We'll have to get him on. We actually are.
You know
I'm
what?
a
We're getting him
co-host.
on.
We're gonna get him on.
Yeah, we're getting him on.
We're gonna
This is
get him
happening.
on. We're gonna dive into his movie list. Let's get back to Kate. Big decision. We're left on a cliffhanger.
We
Two
are.
two of our guys, obviously Tyson and Sandy, down there. Interesting situation here that I want your insight on because I believe you played with Paul.
Yeah.
Is Paul starting to Paul?
Paul is starting to Paul. And the thing about Paul that makes him such a dangerous player and so good at games is he's very good in the beginning of the games, just kind of playing this I'm a nonchalant kind of out there guy, right?
Yep.
Like that whole shtick, it ropes you in, right? Everybody
He's
says
unassuming.
he's very unassuming, and the shtick ropes you in, and the man can talk. He's a talker, and he just kind of can talk you to death, and you don't really think anything of it because he's just telling stories, and it's great. And he aligns himself with the right people. He just so happens to always get in with these people who are like, we've got this group, we want you in on it. Once he has that, he starts to go to work on everybody else, and he keeps himself safe by doing that in the realms of how we saw Middlebrooks go, right? So
Hmm.
Paul up there to possibly be eliminated, he's back, and then the second that he sees a moment to strike at Tyson and Tom, he is boom. The seeds just go everywhere. And if you pay
Bit of a
attention, he dropped
bit.
those seeds earlier too this
Oh
season.
yeah, bit of a Trojan horse. Paul
Oh yeah.
is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Like you explained that well, where it's like once he's in there, it's like you think you invited Paul in. Paul's already been there in his mind for days.
Oh yeah.
He just needed you to think that you did it.
Exactly.
And now he can go to work.
That's exactly how Paul operates. We've touched on this in earlier episodes. He is a chess master. All right.
Mm,
He's very good at coming in and he strikes right when the time happens. He did the same thing to me on Big Brother. He was with my group of guys. We were going really well. We were winning all of the HOHs, all of the vetoes, controlling everything. The second that I was vulnerable for a split second, he already had the entire other side of the house ready,
yeah.
swords out, pitchforks out. They were like, "Got to get him now or we'll never get him." And they got me. And it was
Wow.
Paul's doing. You know, they like to give the credit to Natalie. Natalie was a small piece in terms of her control over James, but it was Paul that orchestrated the entire thing.
Man, Paul. Talk about Paul low key making a push for the best villain.
Tyson, right? He's trying to overtake Tyson as the best villain in a
Yeah,
like I feel like Tyson's doing all the proper things for the shtick of it being House of Villains, right? He
100%.
he hides notes, he does things, but Paul's kind of actually being the villain. And he's kind of getting the same kind of arc that
He
he
also
got on Big
looks
Brother.
he looks way more like a villain.
He does,
Yeah.
right? Like Tyson's playing villain, but he's more kind of like frat boy villain, you know?
Yeah, he's paddleball. Paddle what is it? Is it
Pickleball.
paddleball? Pickleball. He's
Yeah.
pickleball villain.
Yeah, he's pickleball villain. And then Paul is he looks and feels like a villain. And I think we're about to see his villainry take over. And right now he's using Kate as a vessel to get out at least one of the strong players. I know that they hinted next episode that there might be a chance that both Tom and Tyson stay. I'm telling you right now, that's never going to happen. Whoever's still left there is gone. Paul's going to make sure of it. If both of them are left there, Tyson's gone. Paul will make sure of it.
Wow. A little foreshadowing from someone who knows Paul well.
Yeah.
We should see if we get Paul on the pod.
I think we can get Paul on the pod. I think we can give him a nice little texty text. Could
Yeah.
text him right now, see if he wants to come on. I want to see who the third person who's going to get nominated is
Oh,
going to be. Is it going to
100%.
be New York? Is it going to be Paul? Or is it going to be real estate girl, Christine?
It's like, who even is Christine at this point? No one knows.
I don't even know, but I find it interesting that when she's been asked how many houses she sold, she said zero.
Well, that would effectively make you the worst real estate agent of all time.
How are you
Um,
on Selling Sunset?
I apparently didn't sell it. I have a great idea for a movie, kind of like Dodgeball. Now that I'm thinking about Tyson as a pickleball villain, it's obviously like a pickleball movie, and Tyson's the villain. That's as far as I've gotten with it. But I'm just kind of seeing him in like lots of different sweatbands, and there needs to be a pickleball movie, and it is kind of a funny. It's like a funny game. Like it looks funny.
I love where you're going with this, and we can definitely workshop it. I think it would be
Hmm.
hilarious to make that movie and almost make it as if it's like people being extremely serious about pickleball. So you
Well,
have
yeah,
like
that's 100%.
that's the move right there.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
they did that with what? There was a ping pong movie that did that.
Turns out Marty Supreme's not about ping pong.
Interesting.
Could have fooled me.
Definitely fooled me.
There's about 18 minutes of ping pong in that entire movie.
And that's it.
And and it sucks, by the way.
Okay. So this would be more of like a beer fest.
Yeah, don't yeah, it's dodgeball, but with pickleball. Yeah. Here's what I need you to know about Marty Supreme. It's not about pickleball, or excuse me, about ping pong really at all.
All right.
They made the dome in Vegas a ping pong ball. The entire ad campaign for the movie was ping pong. I thought I was going to see a badass ping pong movie. Completely wrong.
Not even anything over 18 minutes of ping pong.
15-20% of the movie's about ping pong. That's it.
Interesting.
That's it. It's just not a movie about ping pong. So I don't know where they went with that, but
Yeah, props to the marketing team on that one. I don't think they did that.
totally fooled me.
I've got a funny message that we received, Dev.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, says I feel like you and Devin would make so much money if you collaborated on OnlyFans.
Huh. Interesting.
Very interesting. And my response to that is, guys, we've got a podcast here. All right.
Yeah.
If
It
if
came out of
you
left field, by the way. Smooth transition.
complete left field, I've got a couple left field things to hit you with right here, Dev.
Well, let's
All right.
enter our brand new segment, Left Field, which is starting with this first message. I'm
Left
interested.
field, starting with that. And guys, here's the thing. We've got probably one of the greatest podcasts on earth right here. All right.
It's a lot of momentum.
We would like to give you guys an offer. All right. 10
Okay.
episodes, 10,000 subscribers on YouTube and Spotify. And maybe Dev and I'll consider doing a collaboration. I mean, we have plans to hang out. We're probably going to host some boxing events. There could be opportunities for collaborations. Dev maybe swinging himself down to Florida, and we'll see. We'll
You
see.
never know.
What do you think about that, Dev?
Oh man, it's tough. I don't know. We've never
We
really
haven't
talked
spoken
about,
about OnlyFans once,
yeah,
by
we've
the
never
way.
talked about our OF journey. So I don't know where you're at. I'm like, to be honest, my OF is pretty PG.
Yeah, that's where we're at. You're getting
Yeah,
cheeks.
I'm a big cheek pics guy.
Big
Yeah.
cheek, big D print kind of guy.
Yeah, big cheek print guy. It's not out of the question. Would have to get approved. Would have to get approved by the Queen.
Yep.
100%.
Meech has to
100%.
be in on it. Yeah.
100% got to get approved by the Queen. But it may break the internet. Nani and Kayla just pretty much broke the internet.
Nani and Kayla did break the internet. Nani's visa in Thailand fully sponsored by OnlyFans.
Dude, she's crushing it. And I mean, they've also got a brilliant mind behind them in Sam Bird, who is electric. So
He is electric. The OF TV master.
yeah, no, Sam's a smart guy. He saw the opportunity there. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's pretty much a no-brainer. We'll see how this goes. I like that. I like 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we'll give it a full.
And Spotify. We're
And
going
well,
double.
yeah, across all platforms, we kind of
Yeah.
need the 10K. It's a good standard there. And who knows? Maybe we start ranking up the followers on YouTube. We might not even need OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. We may just give you guys on each personal
Who
OF
knows?
one DP each and then retire. Go out.
Give it a Viking burial. It's a Polaroid.
Yeah,
Light it on fire. Send it to sea.
that's it.
The rest is
Um,
history. What
speaking
else do we
about
have in the segment of left field here? I'm interested to see what you got for
speaking
me.
about OnlyFans, I'm curious to know how you feel about this crime, this bandit, if you will. Okay?
There's an OnlyFans bandit?
No, the
Oh.
Texas butthole tickling bandit has finally been caught.
What? Is this a real story?
This is this is a real story as I'm looking at it right
Ew.
here.
First of
Dallas
all,
man caught breaking and entering into people's homes, tickling their buttholes and then leaving.
that is throw away the key. Throw away the key.
You're talking a life sentence here. This is a felony, in your
My
opinion.
knee-jerk reaction first is gross, and then is tickling buttholes is a gateway drug. So I don't want to see where this guy's headed next. All
Yeah, I
right.
don't want to see where this guy's headed next.
That
All right.
is is this a real, can we
It
confirm this is a
listen,
real article?
I'm pulling the article up right now for you to
Is
see.
it like on the Onion or is it like a real, this is a credible news source here?
This is right here. It was on 96.1 The Beat.
Oh, wow. That seems like a,
So it's
that
a legit thing. Now,
seems like a
the,
reputable source.
the only thing where
Wow. I did
my
not
head
see this
went,
segment coming. Just for the record, this was not pre-planned. I just got hit with a 1-2. I don't know. I don't know where we're going next.
it's the Paulie and Dev show, Pete.
It's a
All
Paulie Def
right.
show. You never know what you're going to get. We
You
went from
never know
House of
what you're gonna
Villains
get.
to
I was
butthole
just
ticklers.
curious. I was like, now, when you tickle buttholes, is this a over the pants butthole tickle, or is this a you got
Yeah.
to get the pants down and actually tickle the butthole?
No, it's definitely
OTP.
OTP, OTP, BT.
OTP BT.
Over the pants, butthole tickle.
All right. I mean,
Um,
Dev, that's all I got from you out of left field. I'm just
I just
I
want to
just
go
wanted
on
to read
record and
that.
I hate that person. I loathe them.
Yeah. I loathe that person in the sense that like you
Have
could
some
break
respect.
have some respect for people's buttholes while they
Some
sleep.
goddamn respect. What is
Like
this nation coming to?
this nation is coming to a bunch of butthole ticklers and
Texas is a weird place, but
it tracks.
that actually took the cake. That took the
Yeah.
cake. Yeah. Yeah,
Now,
that was an interesting scenario there. I immediately go to what is the age of this person? And I can't figure out if they're young and weird or old and weird, but I know for sure they're not like 40. I don't think they're 40. Oh, maybe it says in the article.
let's see if they state the age. He was
I'd
caught
like
on.
to know.
Now here's a funny fun fact about when he was caught. He was wearing $4,500 worth of Yeezus clothing.
Wow. Dude, guy's got loot.
The guy's got, what was this guy? What was this guy doing? Was he recording the butthole tickles and selling it on OnlyFans?
This is an
Unreal.
interesting turn of events here. I guess what do you give the guy that's got it all? And I guess that's the answer. Very bizarre.
Bizarre.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up the age. I do want to know. I feel like you need to be kind of strong for the whole breaking and entering part. So I'm gonna go young, especially now. If he was like 65 and in a bunch of Yeezys, like breaking and entering and tickling, that's terrifying.
That is
Talk about a
terrifying.
movie villain. Get that guy
That-
in House of Villains.
yeah,
That's
get that guy in there.
terrifying. I have so many things around my house. My friend came over the other day who was staying over here, and I have like, you know, in obviously in my safe is like the last resort. We don't want to go into the safe, but
Right.
there's like a machete in the closet. I have like a crowbar like in a random drawer. There's like a hatchet on the porch. He's like, dude, what do you have all these? And I never really even thought about it because like I use a fair amount of tools and stuff that I just like have them in my house. But it looks like I am prepared for this guy to come over and totally defend myself. Um,
Machete and hatchet.
the machete was from, I have like this hill full of like weeds that in every year for my horseshoe tournament, I chop a path in the weeds and I make a urinal so that people don't have to come into the house to go to the bathroom. So I
That's
just had
fair.
the machete from chopping down this path for a urinal, which is, as I'm saying it, a very bizarre thing to use
Yeah,
that
I mean,
for.
Weed Whacker definitely could have gotten the
They're
job done,
too
but
big. It's really the only tool for the job.
yeah.
It's
They're
it
big weeds.
it's like they're almost like small trees. And there's a bunch of rocks all over the place, so it's really you kind of have to like cut the path with the and there's vines. It's a whole nightmare.
See, I always wondered how one would walk through the woods hacking things down with a machete and what the technique would be, and you know.
Oh yeah, you just go X.
X
100%.
marks the spot.
100% X pattern. You're not the bottom isn't really the issue in the jungle. If we're talking about the jungle, I think you're just trying to get rid of vines
Yeah.
that are
So
like,
we're talking waist up, you need to clear.
yeah, I think you can just trudge through waist down.
Yeah. Okay.
Ideally you have pants on.
Ideally.
Yeah, but you're mainly trying to clear a path of vision, I think.
Yeah.
If there's any
Machete wielders.
machete, yeah, aficionados out there in the comments, let us know the proper way. I think it's an X. I think you're going ear to hip in an X pattern.
Yeah. And you don't want to mess up. You don't want to catch any part of you with a machete because those things are sharp.
No, 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 no. I
Yeah.
watched a tutorial on how to open a coconut the other day with one too, so I'm interested in that.
Yeah. We got to get you some coconuts. Fun fact about machetes. In the martial art of Krav Maga, the only weapon that they cannot teach you how to defend from is a machete.
Well, it just because it's too
It's just
powerful.
because, well, it's no, it's not powerful. It's just the machete, if you try and do your 360 defense, if it slips out of the person's wrist and comes down, it's hacking you regardless.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Some would say that would be too powerful.
Some would say that.
Yeah.
Some would say.
Yeah, that's interesting. Also, yeah, like a staff isn't gonna. Well, wouldn't that same logic apply to a sword?
Well, no, because the sword would have to be sharp, and because of the way that it's curved and how light it is, there you have the chance of kind of doing it. You would almost defend a sword the way you would defend a baseball bat, But machete,
Which I know
dangerous
neither
waters.
neither technique actually. Neither one of those techniques are in here somewhere. I can't. I haven't. I haven't yet. I have not yet learned the appropriate technique of defense against a baseball bat or sword. Now, I'm not saying there's plenty of time with the advances in medical tech. I think I'm only about a quarter of the way through this thing. So there's plenty of time for me.
There's plenty
Let's
of
talk
time.
about that actually. What do you think? Give yourself a ballpark number, Paulie. What do you think you're going to live to see?
Hmm. I, I think I think I'm going out in my 60s.
Wow. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah. Hate
Why?
that. So I'm trying to live life as
Dude, you don't really booze. You don't smoke darts. What are
yeah.
you doing?
I'm not doing much. However, so I'm just going based off of the family tree here. Okay. All
Okay.
right. I'm the only other left-handed person in my family other than my grandmother who was
This,
left-handed, who died in her 60s.
this is
And
a
then
ridiculous stretch.
and then also just found out that on my mother's side, her grandfather died at 52, heart attack. Now, I'm not saying I'm in that realm, but what I'm saying is I did some tests and I've had to make some
What do you got? High
corrective
last?
plays.
You got high
Huh?
last?
I don't know exact.
Hypertension?
I failed 7 out of the 15 heart tests. However, they could be
Huh.
corrected through diet. So apparently, I shouldn't be eating tuna, but I can eat salmon. And I shouldn't be having white rice, but I could have brown rice. It
Oh,
was a
you
very
have some
interesting thing.
enzyme issues.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm thinking because I caught it now, you know,
Well, that's what I'm saying. The advances in medical tech, bro. Come
I
on.
mean, listen, if I can be like, my grandfather, Calafiore, this guy, fun fact, he had 4 heart attacks and did not die. He actually, instead of driving himself to the hospital, Okay, he got in his car and he drove himself 2 hours up north to go to family to be like, "Hey, I'm having a heart attack. I think you should bring me to the hospital." That's kind of level of stubbornness I aspire to be. And
Wow.
who knows? I could be in my 70s and 80s just ripping through heart attacks and
I gotta
driving on
come.
I-95.
I gotta completely disagree here. I think you have no real, I guess, and I wouldn't call them bad habits, but we'll call them vices. You have no real dangerous vices to your health. And you work out all the time. You don't eat poorly. I don't think
Yeah.
tuna is gonna what I don't think it's gonna be tuna that sets you off.
I don't
You
know.
have to remember like when you're going down the street, right? And you see somebody that maybe is a little down on their luck or whatever. They have a bottle of booze in there, a cigarette or whatever. Those people live to be 60.
That's what I'm saying. And then there's random
You
health
gotta like
freaks,
your
heart attacks in their 40s and 50s. I mean, you know,
dude, but
I'm,
they were also born in like 1910. It was like real hard to be alive, dude.
that's fair.
It was super tough to be alive for a while.
That's fair.
Yeah.
They, imagine trying to be alive in the 1800s.
No thanks, dude. I stand no chance.
Yeah.
Michelle always makes fun of me because I won't drink like water out of a plastic bottle, but I'll have like a bunch of cigarettes
Yeah.
and like I won't eat fast food ever, but I'll have
Okay.
40 beers in a day.
Yeah.
And my thought process is I got to pick my poisons here.
It's fair.
I can't just go right down the list and
Yeah.
fucking check them all off. You got to
Yeah.
have some sort of discipline in some capacity, or you are going to go down, right?
Yeah.
I had high cholesterol. You know what's a
Okay.
game changer? Psyllium husk.
Really?
Got to get some psyllium husk. You like protein shakes.
I
Changes
do.
the texture. It's not a great texture. I just drink it with water now because it was messing up my shakes. Psyllium husk is a game changer.
Yeah.
My
I'm gonna have to
cholesterol
look into
went
some
from
psyllium husk.
dangerously high to like perfect in 6 months of psyllium husk.
Really?
Sure.
I'm gonna
Yep.
have to look into that. I definitely got some high cholesterol.
Dude, if you got high lest, you need psyllium husk.
Yeah.
And now we are also a nutrition podcast.
Now we are a
Boom.
nutrition podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Get yourself some silly husk in
Hmm?
order to deal with high cholesterol.
And in order to deal with your high last. Now, let's play one of my all-time favorite games. Would you rather, right? Our last one went pretty well. It was
Yeah.
would you rather have an identity crisis or be or no, or have your identity stolen?
Yeah.
Correct. And
Correct.
now here's a good one for you. Would you rather be high or have high cholesterol?
Hmm. Well,
You don't
we
like
were
being high.
we were in Amsterdam together though, and I do like myself a nice old mushroom trip.
Oh no, weed.
Oh, oh,
Weed.
hmm, man. I think I'm gonna take the high lest. I think I'm taking the high lest there because you never know what you're gonna get with the weed with me. It's like all of a
Yeah.
sudden I can't breathe, and I don't know why.
This is why this was a good one. You know?
What are you
Now
going with?
I'm personally gonna choose to be stoned.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I can see
Yeah.
that. You probably
But
handle it well.
it's a bit of a double-edged sword because when I do get baked, I start eating food that gives me high cholesterol. So I don't even
That's
know.
that's that's the vice right there
Kind
because
of a catch 22 if you think about it.
yeah, I mean the times in which I have been high, I've cleared out entire cabinets and fridges all at once because I don't know what you go to when you're on Mount Olympus, but when I'm on Mount Olympus, I'm like, man, I'm craving sweet. So I eat every ice cream thing, all the gummies, everything. And I'm like, oh, savory now. And I'm like, I'll have a burger. I'll order the fast food. I'll Uber Eats everything
Hmm.
into the area, and I just go through it all.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I won't eat. If I panned the camera right now and you looked at the state of my kitchen, you would understand exactly what I mean. It is destroyed from last night. I was making all sorts of different things. I usually do a food shop on Fridays, so
And you're quite the chef.
Thursdays, I like dicing it up, yeah. But Thursdays I make like again I call it a stir fry, but really it's either a stir fry or a soup, but it's like anything that's left in my fridge and then I clean it all out, and then I go and do another food shop on Friday, so I have fresh food for the weekends. And then that's when I really like to get my cooking on, right? I'm going to do some slow cooking tomorrow, making a big
Ooh,
brisket. Going to be a little
ooh,
12-hour brisket. Got to get up at like 6, get that thing on the smoker.
love a good
So
brisket.
that's going to be a good time. But yeah, it's completely destroyed over here. I am impartial when it comes to snacks in general. I love a snack. I love a nice drink. I love a cocktail. Might have one this afternoon. Had a long drive. Been off the sauce. I don't know if you can tell how clear headed I look and sound, but I've been off the sauce for, well, not that long actually. Since Saturday. So
I
it's
mean,
not
we're almost a week in, and
it's
Dev,
not that bad.
Dev, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. I've been around you hammered. I've been around you sober. I can't tell the difference because you're just that high functioning.
No, it's true. It's true. Oh, speaking of high, I wanted to touch on this funny story because I always like to try to put people in, I always like to try to put myself in other people's brains. And we were in Amsterdam. This is what made me think of it. We were at one of those bars where they have 1,000 of the bars, right?
Right.
And it's like you know what I'm talking about. It's a name. There's like one on every corner. It's like a big blue circular sign.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The one where you get the shroomies.
I think you can get them there. You get pot, you can smoke pot. Anyways, I came down to meet you guys. It was Diner, Jordan, you,
Yep.
Johnny,
Yep.
Bananas,
Oh my God. In that bar, yes.
and then I walked in. And I
Yep.
was thinking to myself while we're smoking this doobie, I'm like, people say this, people say this all the time, nightmare blunt rotation. This actually might be Bananas' nightmare blunt rotation.
Dude, Banana's sitting in
He was
there.
like in the corner
Yeah. He
with
felt
either one
like
of us on one side and then Jordan and Diner. I mean, she's great, but and him and Jordan are cool, but mainly the two of us. And
just
then I
there.
was just thinking, I was like, this actually might be the nightmare blunt rotation for him. If he could pick a couple people to not get stoned with, it might be us.
It
But we
it
actually ended
would
up having a pretty good time.
it was a pretty good time. Listen, regardless of how the Banana Man has spoken about Dev and I, all right, he enjoys hanging out with us a lot. Not in frequency, but in moderation.
Oh yeah, anything in moderation.
Yeah, anything in moderation. I don't know if we'd be able to hang with him in anything other than moderation because I think, it would get from just common talk to talk that would probably get some of us riled up.
Yeah, it's
And we
hard to
don't want that,
tell. You never
you
really
know?
know. But I will say this about challenge people outside of the game, and I really have learned this. Like it took me fucking decade to figure it out. I struggle to pinpoint people that if you get them on their best day, they wouldn't be a good hang.
Right.
If you get them in their wheelhouse,
Yeah.
there's some people like that I just like am not really that friendly with. Like I just don't get along with them in the game, of course, but you're exposed to them all the time. You got to do the bus rides with them. You got to do all this stuff. Is there's money on the line? It's weird, but I think for the most part, if you were to catch somebody in their element, it's like 95% of the people would be fun.
Would be a good hang.
Yeah.
I agree. I
For
agree.
like just to go out and like I guess you can leave the sober people on the list too. Like the fully sober ones are probably a little tough because it's like what do you do if you're really in their wheelhouse? But I guess like you can like work out and get lunch or whatever.
I
Like
love how that's the only two things.
I don't know. Like I'm just thinking like
You can like get a workout in, have some lunch. I don't know.
yeah, you can have some lunch. But like you don't love drinking beers all the time, but you'll have a whiskey or whatever. And if we were to go out somewhere, you'll go to a bar. Like
Oh yeah.
part of your wheelhouse is you don't give a shit to go to a bar.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's still in your wheelhouse. You're a little bit more of a chameleon in that sense. I
Yeah,
mean
I'll
like
dance. I'll
the
have a good
more
time.
yeah, the more strict like ones that like wouldn't even go to a bar. That would like I don't really know what you do,
Well,
but
here's the thing, Dev. I'm going to throw something on you may not know about me. I actually love drinking. The reason why I don't is I don't know what the ingredients are, but even one drink, insane, terrible heartburn, and it's almost like the next day having a hangover, not from being
mm,
drunk, but from whatever went on in the sense of my stomach.
okay, we have another. I'm going to give you some homework. So it's like an ounce and a half of olive oil pre-booze. If you ever find yourself in a situation, you obviously want to go light acidity, right? So like drinking margaritas isn't going to help you any. But I'm telling you right now, the hangover game changer is olive oil.
Olive oil. Interesting. Is that why the cure for a hangover is eating those oily foods the next day?
I don't know.
The greasiness?
Yeah, I think that's over my head, but I think the olive oil pre-booze does
Mm,
something to your stomach and
primes it.
you're just kind of like I have gone on a bender and woken up and been completely fine. It's got to be
Huh.
extra virgin. I go extra virgin organic olive oil. Just rip a shot of it. Doesn't taste great. It's got a little heat to it usually. It's like raw, but that'll also lower your cholesterol. But that is the ultimate game changer. Now, I don't know if it's going to help with heartburn. I think it will, just because
All
I'm
right.
like working it through my mind. But yeah, we really are a health podcast now. And on that note, we probably should wrap this thing up.
We're gonna wrap it up on that note. I'm gonna test that theory out tomorrow night,
Mm.
and Dev and I are gonna talk about it.
What do you got on the docket for tomorrow?
I think I'm gonna just go get hammered for no reason. And I'm just
Nice.
but I'm gonna have the olive oil right beforehand, you know?
Oh, if you want to watch a basketball game, there's going to be a great one on tomorrow.
Ooh, who do we
So,
got? Who do we got for the March Madness lineup?
well, we don't know yet, but we know that it's going to consist of, well, actually, maybe we do know. Maybe, yeah, these teams are on the same side of the bracket, so they're all going to play each other. Okay, so tonight's games are going to impact Saturday and Sunday's games. Or not, actually, man, I really should know this. I don't think they are. I know Arizona won. So you're going to get Arizona, and you're going to get Arizona, Purdue,
Okay.
and then who was it on the other side? You're going to get Iowa, and someone blew somebody else out. It was a game that wasn't close. Who's the other one seed?
Let's check this
I
out.
forget. I forget. I know Iowa won. I know it's Purdue, Arizona. That's going to be an excellent game. And then I'm not sure entirely.
We are looking at just pulling up the bracket
Well,
2026.
tonight we got big games. We got St. John's and Duke. We got
Ooh, yeah,
UConn,
St.
Michigan
John's and
State.
Duke's tonight, UConn, Michigan State, Arizona, Purdue, you were correct. And
Iowa's playing someone else. Iowa beat the two. So, oh, Texas. Maybe it's Iowa,
Houston?
Texas.
I'm not seeing.
Oh, no, it's Iowa, Illinois.
Iowa, Illinois, Tennessee,
It's going to be Iowa, Illinois.
Iowa State, Michigan, Alabama.
Michigan, Alabama's today. And actually, there's an amazing. Do you follow Barstool at all?
I do follow Barstool.
You know Rico Bosco?
Yes.
Okay, so Rico Bosco and Portnoy have a bet tonight. If Rico's an Alabama fan. Obviously, Portnoy is a Michigan guy.
Yeah.
If Alabama beats Michigan, Bosco instantly doubles his salary and gets a 10-year contract.
Wow.
If Michigan beats Alabama, Bosco has to do a weekly podcast with his arch rival, Jeff Nadeau, once a week for an entire calendar year.
Could you imagine working for that organization? And this is
It's
just a casual.
it has made this game so interesting to me. So you got to do a little independent research on the beef between Bosco and Jeff the Do because it's one of the best rivalries in media, and Portnoy just fucking loves it. So this is really the game that it's all riding on is tonight. That's Michigan, Alabama. I'm going to be very excited about that. But
I'm gonna have to watch
yeah,
that.
tomorrow there's going to be some great games. So take your olive oil, give it a buzz, give it a rip, and we'll see how things play out. We got another episode in the books here. Thanks for joining us. Went a little bit off the rails as usual. Next week we are going to get to your calls, and we're gonna have our favorite segment. We've put a lot into this. We've got a lot of hype behind it. Roast the Host coming to a podcast near you. Actually, this one, and that's going to do it for today. So I am Devin Walker. He is Paulie Calafiore, and you all have been wonderful. Paulie, take him out.
All right, guys. As always, like, subscribe, and follow. We are the Paulie and Dev Show, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. We appreciate the love. If you are partaking in the Roast the Host segment, shoot us a DM on Instagram. Send your voice note there. We'll be listening. We'll be bringing them up live.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
We'll be seeing you.